Hey, great great Tuesday evening. It's an awesome evening. I literally want to cry a little bit. It's such an awesome evening. It's such an awesome evening because I'm very very proud of some things. As the one of the questions that was asked a while ago when we were talking about some tapes that had come out sometime in regards to in regards to a city commissioner who had used the N words, was asked the questions, and I stated, very nonchalantly, I'm very glad that that recording came out. It was 4.5 hours, I think, right? I forget the recording, something like that, 4.5 hours, and I was very glad that they came out because what happened with those 4.5 hours, it vindicated it brought to light a lot of the things that I had been saying for many years. So I was glad that recording was out. Hey guys, yes, thank you, David. Appreciate you, man. Evening. I was very very proud, very glad that it came out because it showed the corruption that we have here in Cameron County, especially at the city level. Well, let me tell y'all something. At today's board meeting, I think if one thing was proven at the meeting is I'm still right. I mean, a lot of what I've been saying for years, for months, has come to light, and now people can go like, "Damn, you were right." But first of all, let me say I love my new chair. To my friends who surprised me this afternoon with this amazing new chair, thank you. I love y'all. I am indebted to y'all. And no, it wasn't a vendor.
Too soon, too soon.
Too soon. But we're going to talk about a little bit about vendors tonight, a little bit about the meeting, a little bit about the board attorney, just a little bit, and about other attorneys. It's like, man, we should have gotten someone that's an attorney on tonight. It's an interesting night to go start. Frankie, how have you been?
Happy Tuesday, world. Hey, Danny. I did wake up from a nap. It was a long day. I do apologize. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Long day at work.
I love the face
An,
covering.
an awesome board meeting. And shouts out to Laura Perez Reyes. She was one of a very few who spoke her mind, and this was a long time coming. We have heard about the wheelings and dealings of this board attorney for quite some time. And, it doesn't make sense for an individual who's making close to $300,000 to have so much power within the district. And for whatever reason, it seems like if nobody wants to mess with him, election is coming up. He is known to donate to certain campaigns, form political action committees, send out mailouts. He's very much involved in local politics, not just in BISD, but also in San Benito CISD. So all in all, it's going to be very interesting to see moving forward the process at Erasmo of what happens to Mr. Baltasar Salazar. But all in all, it's been a fun and eventful Tuesday. I hope to give to keep our public informed on what's going on within our city. We did get some numbers at Erasmo for Cameron County, 171 positive cases, with Brownsville coming in at 121, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 deaths, 10 deaths for Brownsville. So COVID is still alive and kicking, guys. So we'll see how that goes. But all in all, Erasmo was a good Tuesday.
Am I back on? Yes, right?
You never left. What are you talking about?
No, because I had the mic on mute. Let me tell you guys, y'all saw the meeting. I was actually live streaming the meeting. I knew was Kung Fu fighting. I knew that it was going to be an interesting meeting, and I'll somewhat agree with Frankie. Hats off to Miss board member Laura Perez Reyes tonight. For for telling the truth, you know, and that is very, very uncommon on this board to tell the truth. And let me tell you, as much as little Eddie tried to second her motion, he failed miserably. And guys, he failed miserably because if you go back and listen to it, he made it personal. Oh, he offended me. It's not personal, little Eddie. It should not have been personal. And I even sent him a text message. What are you doing? You're making it personal. It's not personal, guys. It should always be about business. And Laura was professional. Laura was on point. Laura mentioned the misdealings of this board president, board attorney. She mentioned it detail by detail by detail. And she was spot on and right. He had no business interfering in elections. He has no business in putting money into Drew's pocket, Duplessis' pocket, Minerva's pocket, Phillips' pocket. No business whatsoever. No business in making up PACs to go after candidates. No business whatsoever. That's what he does. That's what he is going to do this election as well. So, guys, get ready for it. Look, and it's already starting to come out. People are trying to throw crap back and forth. It's going to get worse next month. You haven't seen nothing yet because that's what these people do. And I'm very, very proud that Laura Perez Reyes finally opted to tell the truth. Tell the truth. And if you notice, she hit it out of the park. She hit it out of the park. Again, hats off to Laura Perez Reyes. Tonight, an A+. A+ performance. I'll give it an A. I'll take away the plus. And I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you why I'll take away the plus. It should have never been tabled. It should have never been tabled. That's the only mistake she made. She should have stuck to her guns and made them go on record, either defending Baltasar Salazar or voting them out. She should have made them go on record. She didn't.
I would give her an A+ Erasmo. And the reason being was because you said this yesterday, how it was only going to be Laura Perez and Eddie Garcia, the ones in favor of. And during her speech, she laid it all on the line. She went for the jugular. She talked about how, when she first came on, she had heard of situations that have happened. He formed a PAC against Miss Catalina Presas, if I'm not mistaken, who was running at the time against yourself, Erasmo, and Laura, to bash a sitting board member. She went on to say that he would only favor the majority, that whenever she had a question or whoever was in the minority needed something, he wouldn't act upon it. She went for it all. And, my hat's off to her. The reason, Erasmo, the reason why it was tabled was because Dr. Sylvia Atkinson wanted proof. Drew Brown wanted proof. Minerva Perez, Erasmo, who's been on the board for 12, Peña, who's been on the board for 12 years, seeking another term for 16, said, "This is on you to me. What is this that you speak of?
She's a liar.
A crime against moral turpitude? What is that?"
She's a liar.
This is a woman who just came to the realization that Mr. Baltasar Salazar had this on his record. So again, what are we dealing with? And there's an individual who's asking our community for a vote. So the reason why, Erasmo, that I feel that it was tabled was because it seemed like if they weren't going to agree with her. Philip said that let's wait. Dr. Atkinson, which Laura called her out and said, hey, he's very involved in Dr. Atkinson's trial. When Erasmo Castro had something, he was nowhere to be found. So they wanted proof, and that's the reason why I give her an A+ for standing for standing her ground. And the only reason being, the reason it got tabled was because they wanted proof. They wanted copies because of this this situation happened back in the mid to late 80s, from my understanding.
Well, I'm going to say again, I'm not going to give her an A plus. I'm going to take the A plus, give it an A, and I'll tell you why, Frankie. Because she has the option to bring it back anytime she wants. It could have gotten voted down 6-1, which it was going to, because little Eddie was not going to vote against Baltasar Salazar. It could have been voted down, but at least she would have made a stance. Let me tell you, she could have brought it back next meeting. And actually, she started to go, well, it can be brought back next special call board meeting that we already know that they already called another special call board meeting on the 10th of this month. That's enough time to make copies, man. The truth of the matter, Frankie, is that she could have sent someone right then and there to go make damn copies. And they could have reviewed the information. But that's neither here nor there. They should have voted on it, and they should have actually, put it on record who was going to vote to protect him. But where it wasn't necessary was that immediately Minerva came to Baltasar's defense, because we already know that Baltasar threw her a $3,000 check and throws her $1,000 checks for her. The Pony League, supposedly. It's a bunch of bullcrap. It's for her. But they disguise it as Pony League. It's a bunch of crap. And I'll challenge anyone at West Brownsville Little League to produce where Baltasar Salazar has actually donated to them. He hasn't. He's donated to Minerva. Minerva's kept the money. Simple as that. Simple as that. That they want to wash it off any which way Minerva doesn't matter. It's corruption. But with that said, again, she should have gone for the jugular. She should have made everyone go on record and vote. Look at Drew Brown. Man, she didn't jump higher enough just because the ceiling was there in order to defend Baltasar Salazar. Drew Brown. And of course, Sylvia Atkinson is going to defend him. She's in cahoots with him. So let's go over real quick just that part where she throws it out there. And let's go over exactly what she said. Are we ready, guys? Just in case you missed it.
I'm ready, and I saw it.
Action to review, amend, and/or terminate VSD Board Attorney, Board Member Request, Laura Perez Reyes, Board Support, Eddie Garcia.
Ms. Laura? Thank you, Ms. Peña. At this time, I would make a motion to terminate legal services agreement with.
Wow. A plus.
Immediately.
Do I have a second? You want to push the button and say that again because it didn't come up?
I second the motion.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion, any questions?
Go, Laura.
Ms. Peña?
Yes, ma'am?
Over the past
Listen,
couple
folks.
months, I have individually met with my colleagues, with I think every single one of you, with the exception of Dr. Atkinson. I have expressed my concerns.
Right there. Right there, Frankie. She has already stated that she has already gone to each and every board member to share her concerns. I mean, if she comes to this meeting, places on the agenda, she's had to have some type of support. So she knew what was going on. And they flip-flopped on her. And I'll tell you who the number one flip-flopper was. You want to take a guess?
Felipe?
Philip Cowan, the first flip-flopper. He went out there all balls to the wall to protect Baltasar Salazar as well. Flip-flopping Philip flipped on Laura. And I can almost guarantee you that Laura had gotten assurances from him. Oh, no, I'm going to vote your way. I'm going to vote your way, Laura. You're right. You're right. He flip-flopped again. They had the opportunity because it was little Eddie, flip-flopping Philip, Laura, and Prisi. Those four. Those four were going to vote to terminate him. But as soon as Sylvia Atkinson opens her mouth, number shut up. Everyone else cowers. And I tell you, Philip Cowan is dead afraid of Sylvia Atkinson. So is Prisi. Let's go on.
Regarding our board attorney, Baltasar Salazar, and I do want to thank every one of you for giving me your time and for listening to my concerns.
There she is.
At this time, I felt it was appropriate to entertain this today publicly and to have this discussion for purposes of transparency. And concerns have ranged from the lack of accountability on behalf of the board, the backlash that follows the request for accountability. Last April, I suggested that council, as per his contract, should be generating a list of pending litigation that involves BISD, what the current status is and next steps. Between barbacoa lawsuits and construction projects, the board is not kept abreast in a timely manner.
Wow.
Updates come years apart. Weeks after my comments, Mr. Salazar told Mr. Philip Cowan that he would go full force after me for making such request.
And that's a threat. He was going to go after, and I guarantee you, it's 100% true. I have text messages from Baltasar Salazar where he threatens. Text messages. It's very, very true. Laura is stating facts. Facts.
BISD pays $25,000 in monthly fees to Mr. Salazar to provide updates and keep the board abreast and represent us. I believe that as board members, it is our responsibility to have some oversight, and none of us should be retaliated against for doing so. Over the years, I've seen board counsel become so entrenched in political campaigns that I think that he's forgotten that he's a lawyer.
Entrenched in political campaigns. O sea, funding them, putting money in candidates' pockets.
Political consultant. I have seen him create fictitious PACs.
Creating fictitious PACs.
He has been ultimately sanctioned for by the Ethics Commission. I have seen him disseminate thousands of attack mailers on sitting school board members. I've seen him stick out slates, fund their campaigns, not because he believes in them, but because he wants to further his pockets with future legal work.
Wow. He wants to what, Frankie?
He wants to make sure that he's got a job.
Enrich his pocket with further attorney work.
After my own experience, Mr. Salazar having contributed to my campaign in 2016, I believe those excessive contributions are used as forms of manipulation, control, and unspoken expectations on his.
That's exactly what they're used for. And let me tell you, folks, it's just not Baltasar Salazar. It's all those other vendors as well.
That isn't something that he has just done here at the ISD, but it's something that he's also done in San Benito ISD,
Rio Grande
City, and Houston. Ever since I can remember, board attorney has always reminded members of his board that he doesn't represent any one of us individually, which is true. As per his contract under scope of engagement, I quote, Baltasar Salazar will represent the ISD. Purpose, council, BISD, and its board of trustees. However, Mr. Salazar on multiple occasions has acted and responded to concerns that individual board members whom are perceived to be in the majority pose. And those of us who are not part of said majority are faced with I don't take direction from individual board members.
Yep.
Most recently, Ms. Peña brought to my attention that Baltasar Salazar had visited with Dr. Atkinson's private federal attorney, Mary Garza.
Wow.
I asked him to encourage Dr. Atkinson to stay away from participating in our meetings. While I agree, and as per our letter to TEA, we're all uncomfortable with participation and presence, that was something that was never discussed as a body or asked of him to do. Especially because Mr. Salazar has been subpoenaed by the federal government as a witness in the upcoming trial.
Huh?
Why he would take it upon himself to visit.
What? Mr. Salazar, what?
Has been subpoenaed.
Oh. Has been subpoenaed to the federal trial of Sylvia Atkinson.
I believe with Dr. Atkinson's attorney to do this on district time is improper and unacceptable. Mr. Salazar does not represent the best interest of the BISD.
He doesn't.
He believes in selective representation to board majorities. Furthermore, back in 2013, when Mr. Salazar was first retained as legal counsel, Mr. Salazar had no experience in school law.
No experience in school law. But you know what he had, Frankie? A big checkbook.
The highest ranked candidate, there is only one person here who took part in that hiring process. The rest of us have inherited him.
Minerva Peña.
At the time, Ms. Peña said he could learn on the job. The highest paid, the second high.
Minerva said, oh, well, he can learn on the job, which is 100% true. That is exactly what Minerva Peña said.
The individual at the ISD would learn on the job. In addition, as part of the contract, he'd have the opportunity to hire experts or additional legal counsel in areas beyond general counsel's expertise. I, again, question how many outstanding cases are there where different experts have been hired? How much additional money has it cost the district? And has the board counsel received additional income for potential referral fees from said experts? Not to mention the additional fees that the district pays when BISD has to reach out to, I understand lately we've been using Kevin O'Halloran. And I appreciate the board granting that support to the superintendent because I would not want to seek my legal advice from Mr. Baltasar Salazar. There has
Wow.
been a tremendous lack of accountability, record keeping, and reporting. In it,
No record keeping, no reporting, nothing. So, guys, the second highest paid individual at BISD with $325,000 reports to no one. Laura just said it. No accountability whatsoever.
and at the time of hire, as per state of Texas legislative Senate Bill number 144.034, notification of criminal history. Subsection A states, a person or business entity that enters into a contract with school district must give advance notice to the district that the person or an owner or operator of the business entity has been convicted of a felony. The notice must include a general description of the conduct resulting in the conviction. Without going into detail the nature of the charges, there's been 3 criminal felonies.
And if you listen closely what she said, the law states just having been convicted was enough. It doesn't talk about deferred adjudication. It doesn't talk about getting them expunged. It's just they have to be a conviction. There was a conviction, and that was the argument all along. That's where they failed when they were saying this. That's where Laura Perez failed to put emphasis on. There is no talk about a deferred adjudication in the process when they're going to be defending the school district. None whatsoever.
And convictions, as far as that has never been disclosed to the district. I believe those convictions disqualify.
They were never disclosed to the district. Later on, the district found out about them. It was his responsibility to disclose them to the district. It doesn't matter what disposition they were. He had to, as per state law, report them. He did not.
Aside from serving this district in this official capacity, I don't understand how any one of us would want to have a convicted felon on the crime of moral turpitude to represent the Brownsville district.
Oh,
And I need to correct you.
oh,
Never once, ever in my life, to you or anyone, ever make a statement that you just made that he could learn on the job.
He
I
did.
was told today from someone who said to me that they asked you to call me, and they said this exact.
No, ma'am. No,
I'm
ma'am.
telling you what happened today. I never once have made that statement.
She
and
did.
They made that statement to me, and they named the board member that, let me finish, because I did not interrupt you in your statement. Please do not interrupt me. I have never made that statement. because
She did.
Remember, I'm one of the biggest proponents of people with experience.
She's a liar.
I've always said that it's very difficult. I got a call. What a coincidence that today at 2:30, I get a call
she
from
did.
someone who
She lied.
told me that they were told by a previous board member, like back in 2000 and whenever this gentleman was hired, that when that particular board member, who no longer sits in the board, went over there and was very, very adamant to make sure he did not get hired for whatever personal reason they had. That person told me that when she went to that male board member, he told her he can learn on the job. And right now you said Ms. Payne said that, and that's what I understood you to say.
Ms. Peña, we will play back that meeting if you'd like.
Yeah, but I did not say that he can learn on the job.
She did.
In that sense, in the way you're stating, because I just got someone who told me, who said that, that's why I'm saying that. I know what you're saying, but that is not something that I turn around and say, that isn't, if that's me taking it at content, I can respect, I know you're here all day, listening and doing everything, I'm gonna do the same things to make sure you don't take things out of content, I respect how you feel. The only thing, I wanna make sure that we say things correctly and properly, and we respect how you feel, and we will take everything into accountability out of respect. And at this point in time, if it's okay with my colleagues, I'd like to, you've addressed very important, very concerning, especially the last ones that you said, a crime of moral turpitude. That's wow. I needed to find out. I had not heard that.
Oh, shut up.
First time I hear that
Pingüina.
our current sitting board attorney has been charged with a crime of moral turpitude. So if we can get something, I would really appreciate, because I'd like to see what it is, and you can share with us, because that's very important. That's true.
Ms. Penny, I'd like to ask, because those are serious charges, I'd like to give Mr. Salazar an opportunity to
Carlos
explain
Elizondo is not a felon.
that situation.
Ms. Peña, Dr. Gutierrez, Ms. Perez. I don't believe in rumors. I don't believe
Oh,
in
shut
innuendos.
up.
I
You're a
believe in
liar.
facts. Fact, I do not have a felony conviction. I've heard you say that I have 3. I've heard the people say 5. I've heard the bloggers say that I have 3 robbery convictions. For the record, and I want to bring into today's meeting, I want to bring in 3 documents. The first document is my good standings with the State Bar of Texas, and it's freshly off the press. I got it all for today. And it says here, Mr. Salazar was licensed to practice law in Texas on November 4th, 1994. That was 12, 13, 20 years before I applied to BSD. So I've got a copy, and I want to put that into record.
Record.
The
It's not a
second one
court.
is, I wanted to put it, and I'm also licensed in the Southern District of Texas, and I'm also licensed like Mr. in the
No.
Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and I've argued at the Texas Supreme Court on behalf of BISD. So I am licensed. They don't license you to have a felon, just FYI. The other one, I think, to me, the most important one is that I'm
Yes.
licensed by SBEC, which is the State Board of Education. And I would like to put that one into the record also. It says there, Baltasar Salazar, effective date is 12/1/17, and this is my review. And it's valid, my teaching certificate to 11/30/23. It's life sciences grades 8 through 12. Dr. Levine, if you have any openings, let me know. But that is a certified. I pulled it off of SBEC today.
Doesn't matter.
SBEC does a very good job at finding, they do not license people with convictions. So that's 2. And then for those of you law enforcement people, Mr. Garcia in particular, and Ms. Peña, I'm also going to bring into the record my
Me
Texas
too.
license to carry a handgun. And you know, Mr. Garcia, that you cannot be a convicted felon, especially not 3 robbery convictions, if you are going to get a license.
Votes.
To carry. So having said that,
Elections.
I'm not going to belabor all the points because I think that, again, there's misinformation. Again, in my business, it's a business of trust. I have enjoyed the last 7.5 years working for the Browns Independent School District. I've been effective, I've been loyal, and I've been aggressive. But I've always been aggressive, but in the best interest of the Browns Independent School District. Sometimes board members don't like my recommendations. There's been several board members here who don't like it. But my interest has always been what's in the best interest
No,
of
it's
the
not.
Browns Independent School District.
No.
My dad retired from BISD. My mom retired. My 4 sisters retired. I have a vested interest. There is no way that I would ever lie on an application or make this district look bad. So I take offense to it because you are wrong, Ms. Perez.
Thank you, Ms. Peña. If I may, I would like to cite the case numbers 85 CCR.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Ms. Peña, are we gonna get a chance to all speak? Because we have not had a chance.
Yes, this is my rebuttal, Dr. Atkinson.
Oh, no, I understand that.
No,
I mean-
Use it under Robert's rule, at least everybody gets a chance.
Sylvia wants to defend
Maybe
Baltasar
all the
Salazar?
documents,
How
everybody
strange.
indulge More time. because of the seriousness.
With all due respect, Dr. Atkinson, since I have been here, I have never seen Ms. Peña cut anybody off except for me. Once before, and it was also you.
I'm not cutting you off.
But I'm reminding Dr.
My goodness.
Atkinson
I'm
that
asking
this is not.
professional. Misconduct is unnecessary. I'm gonna give you the time. I was gonna ask you to please, because it's really bad. I'm getting calls left and right. Left and right. Your colleagues coming after you and your election's gonna see and what you did tonight. And that is so, you know what? I'm gonna do what is right in my heart and hold my conscience.
No.
No one, if they wanna
You're going to
fight,
vote for who
I'm
gives you a
gonna do the
paycheck.
right thing, because if I have to make a deal with the devil to get what I want, I don't want it. You have all the time. Please list the cases, especially because I really want to know if there's a conviction. You bring up very serious concerns. Please list the cases, and I'd like to know what is meeting is going on, and we can get the chief of police to go around them and see what they say, because you can find out right away in your criminal history, because this is very important information. Let her give the case.
I just want to know if you have any copies that we can look at when you're.
Oh,
reading.
shut up.
That's all I was gonna ask you, if you have so that we can read it while you're looking at it.
The copies have been requested. I have a copy of the judgment. Probation was granted, where probation was granted. There are 3 case numbers. Please go ahead. These cases were robbed. 2 of them are 85 CR 23 is a theft. 85 CR 450 is a theft. 83 CR 416, theft by check.
Make a deal with the
These are all
devil.
cases here in Cameron County. It's public record. Anybody can submit a public record request. I'm not making these up.
These are 1985, am I correct? That's what the 85 stands for.
85, correct. So,
85?
so these cases actually happened before Mr. Salazar was a licensed attorney. If the stars lined up for him and he became licensed after that, that's not the point. That's not. We employ people that have criminal histories, such as these, here in this district.
For others aspect, for certification purposes, we're required, every district is required to make background checks on certified employees, but that's a requirement from the State Board of Education certification for anyone. So the answer is yes, for anyone that applies, we must do background checks.
But we don't hire people that have convictions, felony convictions.
Felony, no. That's correct, right? Dr. Trevino?
Dr. Trevino?
Felony convictions?
Dr. Trevino, help me out here.
Since you're more involved with the personnel.
Depending on the felony, right, and if it was expunged, and we allow the opportunity, I mean, we are an equal opportunity employer, but most of the time, no.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Mr.
Look,
Howard, and then
Come and rescue him.
I'll make one comment here. I've actually seen the cases, and they are not convictions, they're deferred adjudications.
That's not what the law says, Philip.
You know, that's in the record over there. If it was a conviction, you know, I mean, you can still get your law license if you have a conviction. That's the potential. You could never own a gun and some of the stuff, but this deferred adjudication, you admit the guilt.
I know what deferred adjudication is. Mr.
Oh!
And what I saw was a judgment for probation. And I understand their convictions. The files are very old, obviously, and so I think that it's taking a minute for the district court to be able to get a full printout of them. But
and the thefts were, you said one was hot checks, what were the other thefts involved?
both thefts, all
What
three
were
are, one is a theft by check.
In other words, they're insufficient fund charges. Hot check, that's what that is.
Insufficient. I can't
83
believe-
416 is, and the two I didn't get to finish reading the complaints. Like I said, they're old files and they're not all available in the system. And the system is not shows them as disposed. It doesn't show them as deferred adjudication.
And it shows them as felony, you're saying?
Yes, now they're filed in a district
Because
court
of the,
in
because of the
Cameron
amount,
County.
because of the amount of the check, am I correct? That's what makes it a
Correct.
felony? But these are, because you mentioned moral turpitude. So,
Theft is a
yeah, but moral turpitude has been defined a little, as we get older in life, it's very different how they keep changing that, so that really is a red flag to me.
I mean, Nerva's an idiot.
Law enforcement, we look at it in a different manner, but I see what you're saying now. Miss, is that what Miss Hayes? Dr. Atkinson.
Thank you. And Ms. Reyes, with all due respect, I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was trying to see if you were reading from something that could be shared. We could look at it.
Why? You're going to defend him anyway.
And you said these are from 1985?
Oh, you know, Sylvia. Shut up,
And how long
Sylvia.
have you known about this?
I always heard the rumors, but it's not ever something that I have taken time to look into myself. I think that one of the things as board members here, you see, this is the way it's always been done. It's always been done this way. I didn't hire him. We can all, to a certain extent, you pass the buck. I didn't go do a criminal background check on him. Whenever I came here, he was already here. Okay, but I've learned, and these things have surfaced. And after
It took
I
4
myself
years
don't
to
trust
learn.
him, and after I have seen him single out certain specific board members at different times.
Erasmo
Always
Castro.
minority, though, because he'll never single out somebody that's perceived to be in a majority. That's when I started to become more attentive to it, and I decided to look into it myself because I've had my own experiences with him where I believe he's dishonest, where I have firsthand seen him deceive people, lie, and
Cheat.
I feel that
Steal.
this is a person that thrives on dysfunction and on lies. And so because of my personal experience, I decided to look into it.
Okay, Ms. Bennett, she has read some information. Maybe you and Mr. Garcia know a little bit more since you've been in law enforcement.
in terms of what those
Oh.
citations mean. But obviously,
You should know.
I can say two things, if I may. It's a little awkward to be speaking about this at this point without having had any backup or anything to know where this was going. I think, definitely I was the only one that was left out and not a problem. But I think that information, should have been something that should have been shared. I think there was a report
You know about it,
that
Sylvia.
was, requested
Shut
as
up.
confidential, only board members, and that's all public information, even the information that was approved on that list. And so I think the cloak and dagger here is part of the dysfunction that I think we need to dismiss at this point. So if we're going to be just transparent, I think that having at the time that Mr. Salazar was hired, we were asked to, if I may, Mr. Salazar, Ms. Peña, Dr. Gutierrez as city superintendent, as an employee of the district, we were asked to look into that with the current, at the time with the board attorney and their firm, and it was looked into. And we were told that he was clear to be hired. So for it to come back at this point,
Defend him.
I just feel it's a little disingenuous. If 3
Oh,
years,
you're
you're in the majority and it was fine, but now I'm in the minority and I'm not getting the right answer.
Oh, you're concerned about being disingenuous? Oh, come on.
And we're getting lectured here at Erasmo Castro by an individual who
Stole
is under
my-
indictment, who's under indictment for bribery. And she is giving us a lecture as to, how Mr. Baltasar Salazar should remain on the job. So it's kind of a head scratcher, like you hear that this individual got subpoenaed for Dr. Sylvia Atkinson's bribery case. And here you have her defending him. And nobody says anything. That's the crazy part.
Where's little Eddie? Where's little Eddie chiming in to help Laura? He's throwing her to the wolves. He didn't help her out at all.
Let me just finish. 'Cause
No!
I see both sides, and I think Ms. Benestrates, that, right? So it becomes a situation where, if you're saying he's doing a bad job, then I'm all for redirection.
She
You're
did.
saying that he's not giving, and you're giving the implication that he's not giving me the answer that I'm looking for, or I don't like the answer he gave somebody else. Those are things that we all have to discuss as a group and make a decision. I think sounds very personal, and I just want us to really think about how we step forward.
Personal?
That's personal. That's all I'm saying. Facts are the facts, and I'll support the facts.
Watch. Listen to her words, guys. It's sounding to me to be personal, right? Right? That's what you said?
It is personal to her.
It is personal, but let me tell you, she's right. And what she's trying to do, guys, she's trying to steer the board. I know her. And watch, you'll see, this is how stupid little Eddie is. Just watch. Remember these words she said. It sounds like you all are making it personal, right? Let me write them down. Like you all, it seems like it's personal, right? It sounds like it's personal, right? Write them down. Remember those words. It sounds like it's personal, right? Listen, guys, listen.
Thank you. And everything that I have stated on my points, Dr. Atkinson, not just from these criminal cases that have been filed and that are fact and available for anybody to view with public access. Not only is that truthful, but it's also truthful that he's created a PAC. It's truthful that he's gotten involved, that he funds campaigns. All of that is public record. If not, you want to just fixate on that one thing, then that's fine as well. But let's at least acknowledge and recognize everything else that I have mentioned, because all of that, they're truths. And as a matter of fact, I have at one point, I know that we've obviously had some issues. This board has not been a very united board. I know that at some point, Dr. Tipton shared with me that he was saying that Mr. Cesar was saying that I had received a $20,000 contribution from him.
25.
That is dishonest. The fact that he created a PAC against the incumbent in my seat does not mean that money was for me. That does not mean that I orchestrated any of those efforts. That does not mean that I handled that money. So for him to be a straight out liar.
Liar.
And deceitful and to misinterpret his contributions, to say everybody can turn a blind eye. Anybody can turn a blind eye at this point. I just felt the need to put this on the record. It's not personal. It's not personal for me, and it may seem like it because it upsets me.
It's not personal, right? Okay. Is everyone listening?
Yep.
Okay. Sylvia mentioned it sounds like it's personal. Then Laura is falling for it. It's not personal. It's okay. She's still on the right track.
I have noticed this since April of last year, and I expected him to come after me. And if you remember, Mr. Cowan, you're the one who told me that he told you he was going to go after me and attack me.
He did say that.
Personally. I have children. My service here means a lot to me, and ultimately that's why I felt compelled to bring this up today. But I know what Mr. Salazar is capable of. I know that he has unlimited resources to go fund PACs, create PACs.
All the money in the district.
Literature out about me, because I've seen him do it for other people. So while you're asking me why I'm doing it now, well, let's see, maybe I didn't necessarily want to have that. I didn't want to be targeted like that. And while I still don't want to be targeted like that, I feel like this is something that we need to discuss. And I don't feel, if nothing else, at least this will be an important message for the rest of the community, the candidates that are out there. I've had many people, I've been involved with many campaigns, and I've always, obviously campaigns, you count on people to contribute to your efforts. And I have never, not once, seen somebody manipulate the way that Mr. Salazar has, or to gain leverage through those contributions the way that he has. And I
gain leverage through contributions that he gives. Because let me tell you, that's what he does. He puts money in candidates' pocket to gain leverage in regards to his contract, in regards to bringing in his buddies to work for the district, in order to be the most powerful individual at the district. And that's what all vendors do, guys. That's why vendors putting money into candidates' campaigns is dangerous.
Seen it all, and I've had a lot of time to think about it, to absorb it, to discuss it. I've had this conversation. This isn't something new. This isn't something it just occurred to me last Wednesday. These are conversations that I have had with the rest of the board, excluding you, obviously. Prior, and I haven't felt that the support is there. And maybe for the same reason, maybe for the same reason that I've shied away from adding this to today's agenda before. But there are serious concerns, and all I can do is every day I learn better, and I want to be better. And even if this falls through today, it's not personal. I'm not angry. I don't resent.
It's not what? It's not what? Personal, right? She's already getting into their heads. That's what Sylvia does. Watch.
Mr. Salazar, personally, I just feel that I have a moral obligation to state how I feel and to report what it is that I see.
Say something, Eddie.
These concerns too. To me, they're very legitimate, even if you don't even want to discuss the felonies. To me, I don't think it's appropriate that any person, I don't think that we would allow our superintendent to become involved to the degree that Mr. Salazar has with any elections. I don't know that any of you guys would be okay with him giving Dr. Tipton a $5,000 contribution, having slates.
Dr. Tipton, how much?
5,000?
Woo! Damn!
Orchestrating mail-outs, campaigns. It's not okay. And sometimes you don't realize that these things are not okay or how dangerous they are until you see it happen to you.
Finally. And it's true. It is very dangerous. It's dangerous for candidates who try and want to do the right thing, because Baltasar Salazar and this corrupt board will destroy a person. That is why they came after Erasmo Castro. That is why. Because Baltasar Salazar, Sylvia Atkinson, and Minerva Peña orchestrated it all. orchestrated it all. It was all because Erasmo Castro tried to stop them in regards to their money grab of your children's money and our community's resources. And I'm glad it's out. I'm glad it's out.
It's very bad at Osmo. This just goes to show that there is so much dysfunction within our current board. And for a sitting board member to state that she is scared for retaliation, I would even dare say that she's fearful. Maybe not so much for her life, but for anything that might transpire from here till the election. She's up for the runnings for district clerk for the Democratic Party, and she has stated that, hey, who knows what he's capable of. So this goes to show that anything is possible with Baltasar Salazar, and that's the scary part, because now we have it, Asmo. The teachers, they probably feel the same retribution if they speak up. The employees for BISD, that's the culture that these individuals have cultivated within our district, and that needs to stop.
Frankie, you hit it on the nail right on the head. That is the culture. Teachers and staff. That is why there exists in BISD that fear of retaliation, because of this right here. Because of this. This is why. Because it exists at all levels.
So to me, it's something I take serious. I would hate for any of the new board members to be in a position like this later. I think
Thank you, Laura.
Great if people want to accept contributions.
Don't from
But you do so knowing better now at this point. Now I know that some of us have said, well, let the new board decide. He may know when the new board comes in. That's not the point. I'm not going to yield my obligation today to the promise of tomorrow that somebody else is going to learn how long it's going to take them to figure out everything that I've just now expressed.
Wow.
And if I may kind of add to your statement, and please forgive me, and it's just hard because it sounds very personal. I think that's everything you've mentioned.
It's become very what?
Personal.
Personal. That's how, listen, guys, this is how Sylvia gets in their head. She directs, it's like an orchestra. She directs the whole board. Personal. She's telling them exactly what they need, where the direction.
I was hot check charges 35 years ago. When I was 26 years old. And I'm not saying this lightly because it's happened to a lot of people that have been charged with an overdraft. And
just an overdraft.
They have a big.
Now she wants to compare it to an overdraft when it's a felony theft charge.
That's hilarious.
That's what they do. Oh, a little overdraft. That's what they do. Because they'll try to, Frankie, Minerva's been out there saying in the public, Erasmo Castro has 2 bounce checks. 2 bounce checks. Not felony, it was for like $200, $100. And back in like 30 years ago. But she'll bring it out as if it happened yesterday. She'll bring it out. Oh, no, but Baltasar Salazar? Oh, an overdraft check. You can't compare the same, you idiot, Pinguina.
Overdraft protection. Which means they don't charge you, and they don't go to the court to get your money. They just charge you $30 more, and then you turn it on.
Oh, they'll charge you a $30. Baltasar Salazar, pay us $30 and you'll be okay. An overdraft fee, Baltasar Salazar. Pay us $30 and you'll be okay.
I can't believe she's saying that. Wow.
I totally understand what you're saying. Like I said, I asked because it's a felony. You're saying, have they ever had someone with criminal history? I've seen employee records where we had a question on someone who had something like a DWI back 30 years ago. And the person that I was told was, that already happened. They've been cleared through SBAC. They've been cleared through this. They've been cleared through that. What I'm hearing you say, and God forbid, because you work in a court and you will be serving hopefully the court, to turn around and say, we're going to mark you for life and you're tabooed and that's it.
Wait. Oh, so if you had a DWI in the past, it shouldn't mark you for life? Is that what she's saying? If you had a DWI in your past, it shouldn't mark you for life. Is that what you're saying, Pinguina? Stupida.
And anyone who turns around and doesn't believe that someone who has made a mistake, and we have candidates out there apologizing for being arrested and making mistakes, and they want the community to forgive them. For anyone that doesn't look at that as a part of the country where you serve your time, you do your time,
What? Oh, so, she wants people to own up to things and then move forward.
and you go forward in a positive way, then I wouldn't be serving my purpose as an officer, as a commissioned police officer, because we're not jury, prosecutors, and judge. We are the ones that do the work to take them in. They get fined. They serve
Oh,
their time,
shut
and
up.
they come out.
Frankie, have you heard little Eddie speak at all?
In the manner that they are hopeless,
I know he's going to, but not yet. I haven't heard him speak.
He hasn't.
overlook the 34
Say
years old-
something, little Eddie.
There's overdraft protection, that you can have, all that hot chicks you want, and you pay $30, $50 overdraft check, and you never get prosecuted for it. That
$30 or $50. That's all she Balsar. That's all you have to do, Balsar.
exists in 1985. So my question is, I need to look at this closely. Please forgive me. It sounds extremely personal. I didn't realize.
It sounds like what, Frankie?
Personal.
It seems extremely personal. She's already been told by Sylvia what to say.
That way, or that you felt threatened by him. I have had encounters, and Mr. Baltasar can tell you to your face that I have gone up to him and I've had my differences, and I very sternly, sir, very firmly told you that I disagree with the conduct.
Oh, my Lord.
How you address it.
Let
But I'm the kind that I'll go to you.
Let
and
me
tell you, this is this,
thank you in the wrist. Ah, bad Salazar, bad Salazar. Here's a check for $320,000, Salazar. Slap, slap, slap. I need $3,000 for my campaign.
Because of the fact, you are correct, it was at that time and place, 1985, charged with insufficient funds, which is what that.
No, ma'am. Theft. It's not insufficient funds.
Ah!
It's a check because it's a check. Let me finish, please, ma'am. It's a check that was written that didn't have the funds to cover it. Am I correct? Is that what happened?
Well, I thought she didn't know what she was talking about. I thought she said she didn't know anything about what was going on. Now
They
she's
know.
calling it. Now she's calling it an insufficient check. Oh, she suddenly remembered.
You keep wanting to downplay it, and that's okay. And that's
She is trying to downplay it. You're right, Laura.
You for a definition. You work for a court of law.
no, it's not my obligation. You have been here 12 years. But you're just
Oh!
with the responsibility of figuring this out for you.
You're manipulating the way you presented it. I'm going to be very frank with you. I have been
Damn.
cases, okay?
Sylvia.
Then you figure it out. Then do the research.
That's what
Don't
I'm
ask
asking
me,
right now.
don't ask me, don't ask anybody else. You figure it out. You have been here 12 years.
And I'm not.
She has been there for 12 years and she still hasn't done the research, Frankie?
Yes, ma'am, I have. I have done more things that you know of, and I do it properly, correctly, and if it's nothing there, I'm quiet. I don't go around talking to everyone, making it
Oh, shut up, Pinguida.
you or putting it out in public. I don't work like that. I wasn't raised like that. Because I'm supposed to do what's right.
No,
Because I don't want
you're a
people to
liar.
treat me like that. That's why I won't treat them like that. Yes, ma'am, this has been looked at. Yes, ma'am, because we brought it up.
Well, I thought you said this is the first time you heard about it. You liar. Didn't you just say that this is the first time that she's heard about all this?
Yep.
Mentirosa.
Year after year, your predecessor who was sitting in your seat that you see, she went hard to go and get information on that. I remember. It has been looked at.
I thought you said it. You had never heard about this before, imbecile.
Time. This is not the first time.
And you've never got to the bottom of it.
We've never gotten the result to turn around and be told it's a felony, this person isn't qualified, this person is unqualified to hold this position. That's the answer we were asking. We never got that, Ms. Laura. And we asked and asked and asked. Mr. Garcia.
Okay, now Little Eddie's going to speak. And we're going to end it with Little Eddie's speech because let me tell you, this is how stupid Little Eddie is.
I'm the new board member here,
You're appointed.
and this is something that has been going on for some time. I had already heard about this. And again, you know what? People do deserve a second chance. I have no issue with that. I have no
So you're defending him now?
problem with that. And I'm sure he has done a good job,
Oh, done a good job.
according to some. But when I got on the board,
Now this part. Now remember, it sounds, this is Sylvia, right? It sounds like it's personal, right? And Laura like, it's not personal, it's not personal. And Minerva, it's very personal. It's personal, okay? Now listen to Eddie. Listen.
you know, even on my first meeting, I could not believe the words that he said.
Oh, he said things about me.
And that was, that he did not represent that person,
That he didn't represent
that he did
me.
not work for that person.
He did not work for the
You
represent.
know, he does work for us,
He didn't work for
and I
us.
have an issue with that.
I have an issue with that.
He, as the board attorney, is supposed to guide us, yet in a couple of meetings,
Oh,
he has tried to make me look like, well, I'm not gonna say it.
oh, he's been mean to me, Frankie. He's been mean, but the Salazar is trying to make me look like a fool. That's where you lose the argument. Because all that little Eddie is saying is that it's personal. He made me look bad, which he did. Little Eddie, that's where you lost the fight. Because you made it personal. And you know why you made it personal? Because Sylvia put that in your head. Because that's how easily you're manipulated by her. She made you believe, she made you say that it was personal because he started to say things about you. And that's why you second the motion. Laura is presenting facts, Frankie. Laura is presenting facts. Little Eddie, it's personal. Does that make sense?
Not on it. He asked me about Open Records Act. And I was trying to tell him, are you talking about 574?
It's personal.
001,
It's personal.
where it states that legal counsel does not necessarily need to be present
It's
at
personal.
an executive session
It's personal.
unless it's a personal matter,
It's personal.
you know? But I did not want to turn that meeting into a circus.
It's a personal.
And that is why I withheld myself.
It's
I'm
personal.
going to act like a professional that I am,
Because it's personal.
and that is why I did that.
It's personal.
Now, let's be clear about this. If this violation of the law occur, whether it be, again, you know what? The names on charges do change. I'm not gonna go back into that.
Oh
Did it
my
happen?
God.
Well, there are court records that it happened. We
Oh,
will try to expunge. That is something that is mentioned that he
It
tried to do.
doesn't matter,
And
little
one of the
Eddie.
things that I'm here to do is for us to be fiscally responsible for the district. And I feel that what he is getting paid is well overpaid for the amount of work that he is doing for the district.
Okay, good.
You know what? It's outrageous.
Very good. There's a fact. Finally pull out a fact. The amount of work that he does for the amount that he's getting paid, outrageous. Finally.
And I'm not about to live with that. You know, at $25,000 a month for the number of hours that he puts in for the district. And when we are, well, I'm saying we, as a district, are having to hire outside attorneys to represent because some do not feel comfortable
Fact.
with his work. So why are we having to put up with him as an employee when we're having to do and go out and hire others? Now, when he got hired, his thing was, I'm going to save the district money. You know what? Has he saved money? I'm sure he has. And the way he has
Oh my God. He saved the district money.
money is by hiring other attorneys to represent us in
Wait a minute. How is he saving the district money by hiring other attorneys to represent us?
nation. But if you look at the record of how many cases he is handling, it will show otherwise. It's other attorneys doing the work.
Ay, little lady. It's always personal about you. Ya me fastidio. The meeting is on YouTube, guys. It's interesting. Is one other thing that I want to show. Not the only thing that was voted on today at the meeting. The other thing that was voted on today at the meeting is the one thing that I wanted to see. I mean, look, I already knew how the vote was going to go in regards to Baltasar Salazar. I even said it yesterday. I specifically stated yesterday how exactly the vote was going to go. Well, the only thing that I was wrong in was that there was absolutely no vote. They just decided to table the matter for maybe next month. And I could almost guarantee you it's not going to come up next month. Almost. Recommend approval to pay an additional cost of 15 hours, $250 per hour for Board of Trustees legal representation. Frankie, what's your take on it?
It's kind of crazy how individuals are able to vote on things that pertain to them. There's something called conflict of interest. We have had previous board members have, incidents where they have needed representation. It wasn't given to them. Why now? Is it because now they feel the heat? Now they have the federal government on their toes and they're scared of what's about to occur? What bothers me is that these representation for these board members are the same individuals who are voting for essentially them getting paid or them paying their attorneys. So it doesn't make sense. There was an issue also on, why should they vote? It bothers me that we as a community are allowing this, and we shouldn't be. Our taxpayer money should not go to the attorney's fees of individuals who have used our position as a community for their own enrichment, for their own political gain. And I understand that, we all need legal advice. We all need representation, Erasmo, but it should be at their own dime. Why is the city of Brownsville, the residents of the district, having to foot the bill for these individuals who might have done something, who could have possibly be involved in this, in this situation that Dr. Atkinson finds herself in? So for them to take part of this vote bothers me. We have one abstention from Dr. Atkinson, which, finally she abstains from something. But again, I'm very curious as to why nobody made nothing about it. And if you listen to the meeting, they kind of wanted to hush hush. Oh, this is about, this is not additional, right? Or this is something that we're having to pay, or what's going. Okay, well, yeah, okay. Everybody vote. Everybody ready? So it wasn't really discussed in detail as to who these whose costs were these individuals going to pay for. So it's kind of tricky, guys. They expect to poke our eyes and just slide this under the rug. But I'm glad that we have, an avenue, a platform that we can expose the truth, expose these individuals that they're using our tax dollars, our money, which could have gone to mobile hotspots at Erasmo, which could go to paying for a raise for classified individuals, for giving a teachers, counselors, nurses, DIAGs a raise. But no, you know what it's going to? It's going to something that they put themselves in. Allegedly. I'll give them that. That's what bothers me, Erasmo. That money, that we have no money. We have no money for raises. We only have money to give raises to the higher administration. We only have money to give the superintendent a raise. We only have money to provide the legal services for a federal bribery case. But we don't have money to pay for the nurses N95 masks. We don't have money for classified. We don't have money for teachers, counselors, DAGs, and staff. That's what really bothers me.
Guys, it's very, very simple. Minerva Peña voted for her own attorney. Philip Cowan voted for Minerva and Sylvia's attorney. Little Eddie voted for an attorney for Sylvia Atkinson Drew Brown, Minerva Peña. How anyone thinks that is a smart move to make, how that is fair to our staff, our personnel, our students out there, it just completely boggles my mind. So while my opponent is out there, getting her contracts and her daddy's company ready to take more contracts from the district, while the board attorney is contacting every single individual that is running for office, running for board to put money in their pocket, we're still dealing with a federal lawsuit. And we have the current board members that want to come back, Philip, Minerva, and little Eddie, using your tax dollars to pay for attorneys, for them stealing your tax dollars. You know who wins? The attorneys. You know who loses? We all do.
Yep.
We all do. Because at the end of the day, folks, they don't care. They just don't care. They'll continue to vote for raises for the superintendent, for his deputy superintendents, for his AAs. They'll continue to extend their contracts. They'll continue to take away any opportunity that any individual has to move up in this organization, because the jobs that they have out there are already assigned to the compadres, the butt kissers, or who already owe them favors. And you who have been working your fingers to the bone for this district, for this community, will never have the opportunity to ascend unless you become a part of the corrupt political machine or you become a butt kisser. Well, in less than 2 months, you have the opportunity to change all that. In less than 2 months. Early voting starts October 13th. It goes on through October 30th. And in those 3 weeks, you have the opportunity to send a very clear message, not only to the superintendent and this current board, but to the community as a whole. The time is now. Also, come pick up my damn cookies. And come pick yourself a cool Erasmo Cookie Revolution shirt. They are in the Cookie Revolution. You know how I put love backwards? Love, because I love cookies. Just come pick up shirts. They're pretty awesome. I like them. Anyone know why Laura hasn't filed any campaign finance reports? I could give you a couple of guesses. They're not listed on the Cameron County election site. It's a ploy. Sometimes a lot of the, politicians want to take the $500 hit that comes with not filing a campaign finance report. Should not happen. Thank you to Lemuz Mostachon. It looked real pretty before I started to eat it.
You get all the good stuff. You got a chair, you got a cake, you got
shirts.
I just got the blues.
I love my brand new chair. 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 Thank you, my community, for providing me with a brand new chair. I love y'all. And this community has been very good to Erasmo Castro. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me food. Mostachon, Lemuz Mostachones, the best mostachones in Brownsville, guys. Let me tell you, keep the food coming. And it's been a very, very difficult day. I've actually spent, yes, I will save you one of those shirts, my friend. Guys, I'm not even joking. And let me share this little personal thing. I have never in my life well, in never that when before that I've run, never have I given away so many shirts. The times that I've run, I always make 100 shirts, and I always have a lot of shirts left over. Nobody picks up my damn shirts. Well, this time around, I'm very, very proud to say that I made a mistake in ordering extra shirts, and I actually got 200 shirts. And I was going like, and I was thinking like, crud, crud, crud. What am I going to do with 200 shirts? I didn't even give all the other ones away. Let me tell you, those 200 shirts flew. And I have no more of those original shirts. So these Cookie Revolution shirts, I ordered them because I thought they'd be cute. And just came in tonight. So guys, it's a cute shirt. And take a shirt, take a cookie. And the Erasmo has the shape of the cookie. I love it. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate people coming in to pick up shirts. I have other candidates' shirts here as well. I don't know why they're not paying me any damn rent. I think they should. I really, really think they should. But come pick up some merch. Merch is good. And please help us in promoting the campaigns. Again, guys, I'm fighting this campaign like I fought every single other campaign, despite the fact that I think I'm going to smoke my rich girl opponent. But with that said, I'm going to run this race as if I were in last place, because this community is important to me. You are important to me. I'm tired of people like Baltasar Salazar. You learned tonight all their dealings, wheelings, and dealings. That's what they do. And that's just one of the vendors that we have at BISD. You're talking about a plethora of vendors who want their hands in everything. And they have their hands so stuck far up these politicians' derriere that they start talking for them. That is why Minerva Peña defended Baltasar Salazar. That is why Philip Cowan defended Baltasar Salazar. And look, guys, I know that Minerva and Baltasar have their supporters out there. Guys, you're part of this community. You're part of this community. You need to vote for the other people. And look, guys, there's opponents out there. And you may not like the opponent that I might vote for. You have an option, guys. But do not vote for the incumbents. They have to go. They need to go. They've been there too long. They are part of the corrupt political system that continues to steal money from our students and continues to pocket the resources of my staff. You have a choice. Together, guys, we can affect the change that is so desperately needed here at the district. Frankie, last words.
What a mess, guys. We saw firsthand how the cards are crumbling. The cards are starting to fall. The Sylvia Atkinson's federal case is around the corner. Early voting's around the corner. We are starting to see their true colors, and they're going at each other. We see a board who is dysfunctional, whose only thought process right now is to save themselves. Forget the students, forget the teachers, forget the staff, forget special education, forget everything. It's only about them. Everything they're doing right now is to make sure that they take care of themselves and themselves alone. I am so excited for this election because I know as a community, we all want change. We're all tired of these individuals on this board who continuously lie to us, who continuously use their position for their own enrichment, for their own political gain. I know that the city of Brownsville is eager for individuals that are going to listen to the community's concern. It's unfortunate that we have to have this play out live for the world to see, but I'm kind of glad we did, because somebody needed to say something. We have an individual who's making close to $300,000.
320.
We have a 320. We have a superintendent who's making close to what the president is making, if not more.
418.
We have top administrators who are making a killing, but yet we have no money. We have no money for our special needs department. We have no money for our classified staff. We have no money for our teachers, for our guides, for our counselors, for our nurses. That has to stop. When is enough enough? I think it's now. We need individuals on that board that will allow us to take control of it, and together as a community, we can do that. Again, I'm very excited. I'm eager, because I know once we go in there, it's going to be a 180. We're going to be for the people, and we're going to stand with the people. But it is all upon us. We need to take that initiative to go out and vote. We have less than 40 some days to early voting, if I'm not mistaken. Let's make it happen. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. Thank you for your patience and your love. The campaign trail is still full on effect. I'm looking forward to hitting the streets. It never stops. But thank you for all your kind words. I wish somebody would give me a chair. I'm here sitting down on the floor over here. But thanks for the love. Thanks for the patience. And we'll be seeing each other very soon. Erasmo Castro tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., guys.
Well, maybe one of these days you'll be chair status.
Maybe, hopefully.
Guys, have a great evening, guys. Again, numbers are horrible. No se confíen. Tomorrow, the superintendent is having a meeting, a face-to-face meeting with all my principals. My principals are concerned. They've sent in their concerns to me. I've addressed it. I'll continue to address it. It's just wrong. It sends a very bad message to our community. As much as they say that they're going to ask for an extension after September 28th, I don't believe them. They lie. A lot of principals are already letting people know that they're going to be labeled as essential and must come onto campus. A lot of individuals that were having technical difficulties today were told, if you continue to have technical difficulties, you have to come back on campus. I don't see why. Internet on campus is worse than internet at home. It's worse. Why bring them onto campus? Guys, they are dead set in bringing our people back onto campus. Principals, I'm praying for you, because veterans, as of last week, has brought over positives from people that are working close to the main office. And I'm not going to mention who, but we know that it's already been closed for cleaning a couple of times. Guys, it's got to stop, guys. It's got to stop. And you have the power to stop it. You have the power to stop it. So, guys, I want you to get ready. I don't only want y'all to come out and vote. Y'all have to bring your family, friends, compadres, comadres, everyone else out to vote. The future of your children is in your hands. And you have to work this campaign 10 times as hard as you've been active in any other campaign, because we fight this together. Placed our names on the ballot. We'll continue to do our job. Please do yours. Guys, if your neighbor, your family member needs food, needs medicine, please provide it for them. Guys, please be good to each other. And please be good to me.